Have you ever experienced an unusual account of events, as if it was warning you that something was about to happen? A small town in West Virginia did. In 1966, hundreds of people witnessed a creature over the course of 1 year. The creature came to be popularly known as Mothman. Who or what is Mothman, and where does his story begin? Find out in tonight's episode of the Faith and Mystery Files. Let's start by looking at the first sighting ever recorded of Mothman. It began with the true account of 5 gravediggers on the afternoon of November 12, 1966. 5 men were working at a cemetery located near Clendenin, West Virginia. As they were preparing a burial site, they noticed something in the trees. They could clearly see that it was not a bird, yet they weren't sure exactly what it was. They noted that it had a human-like form with large, dark brown wings. 3 days later, on November 15th, another incident occurred, one that would mark the beginning of numerous reports to come in. On the night of November 15th, 2 couples were on a double date in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, about an hour away from the first sighting. They were Roger and Linda Scarberry, and Steve and Mary Millette. It was getting late that night. At one point, they passed a marshy area near a place called the McClintock Wildlife Sanctuary and an abandoned TNT plant, which most of the property at the time had been government owned. As they came closer towards the plant, Linda looked out the back window and saw 2 red eyes that were glowing. She began to scream. The other 3 took a moment to look back as well and noticed a large, human-like creature with glowing eyes. They later said it was about 7 feet tall with folded wings. After a brief moment, they quickly sped off, yet the creature continued to follow them. That is, until they made it to Highway 62, at which point the creature seemingly vanished. It is said that after it left, and the group had somewhat calmed down, they weren't sure if they actually had seen a large bird or something easily explainable, as they were near an animal sanctuary. So they made the decision to turn around and go back to the last place they saw it. However, when they were getting off of Highway 62, they saw the creature where they had last left it. But this time, as soon as the car headlights shone off of the creature, it flew straight into the air over the trees. The group rushed back to town and reported the incident to Sheriff George Johnson and Deputy Sheriff Millard Halstead. The next day, on November 16th, a news article was published. It caused a great deal of commotion that Sheriff Deputy Halstead held a press conference with the Scarberrys and the Millettes. It's at the press conference where the creature was officially named Mothman due to his appearance and characteristics. An investigation of the area took place that same day, but no one was able to find any clues about the creature. Yet, the incident that occurred the previous night affected Linda Scarberry so much that her father had to take her to the hospital, as Linda was on the point of having a nervous breakdown. That same evening, on November 16th, a woman by the name of Marcella Bennett, along with her child, were driving to a nearby friend's house. As it turned out, her friend's house was near the abandoned TNT plant area. Once Marcella arrived, she went to get her child out of the car. That's when she noticed a considerably big creature coming from the wooded area directly towards her car. In her shocked state, she momentarily dropped her child. She soon regained composure and picked up her child and ran inside her friend's home. They locked the door as soon as they got in and stepped back. It was said that the creature was on the porch and looking at them through the windows, yet he disappeared when the police arrived, with the sirens blazing. After this event, Mothman began to be spotted by over 100 people throughout the course of the year. That is, until the most famous sighting of him occurred. Many people were traveling on the Silver Bridge in West Virginia on December 15, 1967. It was about to be Christmas soon, and the almost 40-year-old bridge had a lot of traffic that day. Around 5 p.m., a loud noise similar to that of a gunshot was heard by several onlookers. Within 20 seconds, the bridge collapsed completely. 46 people lost their lives that day, and 9 were severely injured. It was later revealed that the bridge collapsed due to a fracture found in the lower limb of the eye within the eye bar. The fracture had increased due to the age of the bridge, along with the daily stress put on the connecting joints, which has been referred to as stress corrosion and corrosion fatigue. However, because of this incident, more regulations were put in place, as well as new bridge techniques and designs, to ensure that this would never happen again. Yet, how is the Mothman involved in this tragic event? Several days before, including that evening, many reputable witnesses reported seeing the same thing. Each report states that a large, winged creature had been seen flying over and sitting on the top of the Silver Bridge. It's also important to note the fact that immediately after the incident, Mothman sightings stopped for many years. As quickly as the sightings began, the sightings abruptly ceased. A popular movie was created in 2002 called The Mothman Prophecies, which is based on the accounts that happened. Point Pleasant also created a museum that displays actual findings pertaining to Mothman. Have there been any more sightings of Mothman since 1967? Over the years, there have been several possible reports of Mothman. In fact, these sightings have been reported almost around the world. For example, on September 10th, 1978, during the morning hours, a group of miners in Germany went to the Freiberg coal mine to start work for the day. As they got closer to the entrance of the mine, they noticed something strange. It appeared to be a tall man in a black trench coat. Unsure of why the man was there, a few of the men went to speak with the man. However, as they got closer, threw open his supposed trench coat, it turned out not to be a trench coat, but a long and large set of wings. The human-like creature then let out ear-piercing shrieks. The men quickly retreated a good distance away from the creature, and soon it wrapped itself back up again in its wings. The miners decided to busy themselves outside, as they hoped it would leave. After about an hour passed, approximately being now 8 a.m., the miners were soon jolted by massive explosions coming from within the mine. They ran to see if the creature was still there, but it was nowhere in sight. Only thick smoke was seen coming through the opening. It was later said that the explosion would have killed all 36 men if they had entered the mine that day. They were essentially saved simply because a creature refused to move from the entrance of the mine. Was this Mothman? Another possible encounter occurred on April 26, 1986. A nuclear reactor in Chernobyl, located at that time in Russia, suddenly exploded due to a flawed reactor design. However, many survived that day, including 5 workers that had seen a Mothman-like creature days and hours before the tragic event occurred. There have been many sightings that some say coincide with other historical grievous events. More sightings have been reported in 2001, 2007, 2009, and 2011, all within months, days, and/or hours of disasters occurring. In recent years, there have been a few reports with some in 2017 and 2019, all mainly being reported around Chicago. Could these be sightings of Mothman? In fact, what does Mothman look like? Based on the numerous reports and descriptions provided about Mothman, we can conclude a few facts. Mothman is said to be tall, around 7 feet in height with an approximate wingspan of 10 feet, as described by several witnesses. Almost all the reports indicate that he has red, glowing eyes. Some suggest that his head is quite close to his body, very similar to that of a moth. Some have also stated that he has black or dark brown fur. From the description, the creature does, in fact, sound like a giant moth. So what is Mothman? When we take a closer look at the first known sightings of Mothman, it's interesting to note that it was seen near a wildlife sanctuary and an abandoned TNT power plant. Could he be an animal or insect with a mutation? However, he seems quite intelligent, as in almost every case, he seems to be warning others before a disaster occurs. No one has ever reported that they've been harmed by him. In fact, many people who stopped to look at the creature or to stay away from him were protected from a serious incident. Could he be an angelic creature? Others have suggested that he could be a curse, but that doesn't match the reports about Mothman. If Mothman was an insect or animal that was mutated because of the power plant located near the animal sanctuary, it would make more sense, except that it seemingly warns others. Unless it's some type of special forewarning creature. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Faith and Mystery Files. Thank you also for subscribing and liking these videos. We enjoy making these videos for you. If you would like to see more intriguing true stories, check out our previous episodes. Let us know if there's any true story that you would like us to look into. Thank you again, and may God bless you.